Usually I'm the one asking.
Now it's time for revenge.
I'm usually on the other end, but
So this is now order.
So I told Yusuf, you're going to do it first, then I'll do it. All right?
I think that's why he did it. He's done it.
He did it? Okay, alhamdulillah.
Inshallah.
Okay, my name is Iskandar Tan. I'm 58 years old this year, and I'm from Malaysia. Ethnically, I'm Chinese. Okay, my grandfather came from China, but I was born in Malaysia, into a Methodist family, Protestant Methodist. My family is fairly religious. I embraced Islam in 1983, around July. Cannot remember the exact date, but it was middle of Ramadan, 33 years ago. And I heard about Islam. Of course, Malaysia being a predominantly Muslim country, majority are Malay Muslims. There are about 55% to 60% now of Muslims. And from young, of course, we grew up going to church, not knowing much about other people's religion. And we usually refer to Islam as the Malays' religion. Okay, so it's ethnically connected. And I started learning about more interested in religion when I was in my teens, in my teenage years. And especially my family, they were Pentecostal Christians. And we were very active, and we attend courses and classes, and some of the classes we attended were comparative religion. And I've actually attended quite a number of them, including Hinduism, Buddhism, Sai Baba, and finally, I think it was back in 1980 that the church organized a pastor from Egypt to teach about Islam. So this is the first time I really go in depth into knowing Islam. All right. It was a 3-day course, 3 evenings, I would say, and there was a book. He gave us a book that he wrote about Islam. Okay, and I read it. Of course, what he told us in the in the seminar was how bad Muslims were. Unfortunately, as I read the book, I said, look, I was able to discern. All right, if you say Islam is like this, and the book was fairly accurate if I look back now. What other people do to their religion and to themselves has nothing to do with the religion. All right? If they misbehave, all right, it has nothing to do with Islam. If Christians misbehave, it's nothing to do with Christianity. So it started me on a journey, basically to read further, and it took me about 3 years before I accepted Islam in 1983. I was attracted because of the concept of the oneness of God. And since I was young, I always wondered, about existence. I was the inquisitive type. And I loved to lay down on the roof and look at the skies. I think probably that started me on this journey of the quest. So I won't say that it started in 1980. I would say that when I was a child, all right? Just that we were not exposed to any other religion except Christianity. So this is how I took the step. Well, I was busy with life, working, and also learning whatever I can, because there was very few books in English those days. And what happened was I went to London, and I went to the Regent Street. I think there's a mosque, a Park Mosque, something like that. Cannot remember. And I saw the Quran, and I bought it and I read it. Okay, so and when I returned, and I decided, I had very few Muslim friends at that time, but they did not tell me a lot about the religion, but they did show me, and I was impressed by their, I was impressed by how they treated me, with always a lot of respect, and even the very few concept, in religion, in Islam, they told me about it, and I think I was naturally inclined, to accept it. Well, I come from a family, all right, of moderate Christians. I know that my family would not allow me, all right, or would not permit or approve. But I was an adult, and I know I could, I could convince them in the process, and which I did because I studied quite a lot, and I was knowledgeable about the Bible at that time, and I explained to them, all right, and I was confident of my ability to explain my religion because I was using more or less like comparative religion at that time, all right, and comparing the similarities and explaining to them why, about the oneness of God and God being uncreated, all right. And I still remember I told my family, once God becomes a creation, it's a creation. It's no longer a creator. So this is how I was confident of my ability, basically. So, and I felt that it was a time that I need not search anymore because I practically stopped searching, all right? And once I started learning, then the conviction grew and I made the decision. Yeah, Islam has changed my life in many ways, actually in almost every way. I'm very close to my family still, all right? And they are very close to mine, and my family felt that I'm a better son than I was before. We are both right and wrong, but I have been concerned about them, and I always keep in touch. I brought my dad and to live with me, and he said his shahada when he was 74 years old. Yeah, alhamdulillah, he has passed away since. I would encourage you to look inwards to yourself and pray to God to give you the courage that you need. God willing, you will find the courage to do so.